What's up, Buckeye Nation? Floco here for Ohio State football with Scarlet and Great, right here on YouTube with my good friend Johnny the Bullet. We're going to be talking developmental issues at Ohio State? Question mark. Could there be a new QB coach already joining the staff? Question mark. And we're going to talk a little bit about the transfer portal surprises and some of the not so surprises. So, Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. I'm Ron Burgundy. I'm Johnny Bullet. Question mark. What's up, everybody? Scarlet and Great fam. It's good to be back. Subscribe to this channel if you're ready to talk Buckeye football from now until the season, and then forward. So not until anything, just forever. Always Buckeye football. Didn't want that word until we say now till until kickoff, but like we're not going to stop at kickoff, obviously. So just
Yeah, that's actually
subscribe.
when we suspend the shows. When kickoff goes, we're like, all right, season started. Let's all stop. Yeah, stop
Yep,
talking.
yep, yep.
The off season is where it's at. That's where all of the topics are to talk about.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about the stuff that you've laid out for us today.
Absolutely. Why don't we start with the transfer portal? We've only got 5 so far, Johnny. So far, Jahad Carter is a new one. Cedric Hawkins is another safety. Enokk Vimahi is a new one that just jumped in. Nigel Glover, linebacker. And, gosh, who was that first one to jump in? Oh, yeah, Dallin Hayden. That was a while ago. I love Dallin. I didn't mean to forget him, but it's starting to get like, okay, it's a list now. But still, a low, short list, Johnny. You look surprised by that?
Yeah, man, I'm surprised. Like, and I think the fans, they can go ahead. I would say, guys, like this video if you think the Buckeyes retain the roster well. Maybe too well. Like, honestly, if we're at this point, uh, only criticism losing Dallin is rough. It is
It is,
because,
yeah.
yeah, I get it. We're loaded with Quinshon and Trey Henderson. But you figure Dallin figures to be right there. Um, Honestly, Trey hasn't had a full season healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Running back's a high injury position, especially at Ohio State. We like to just, we just hit them with sledgehammers in the locker room, something. It's a high injury position. So you don't love
Yeah.
that depth. Um,
And they
the
question
really,
our toughness?
I don't really see any weaknesses to Dallin's game either. I mean, he's not the most home run guy ever, but he's pretty complete. Like, if he started some games for us, I wouldn't be upset at all.
Apparently his pass
Um,
pro is kind of weak.
I could maybe see that. He's not the biggest guy ever. Something that comes with time. But I would have loved to keep him. However, I completely understand it. As far as the rest of the guys, I'm surprised that Enokk took this long. I mean, Corey, I asked you about a list of roster retention yesterday. The following names would surprise me zero at all if I heard them in the portal. Matter of fact, I would suspect, Reed Carrico, Gabe Powers, Court Williams, Cody Simon. Hearing some of these names, Simon's looking maybe would have been a little bit of a shock because of where he landed now, but these are all guys with talent we're really excited about. List of injuries and maybe go somewhere else and jump straight to the front of the line, right? And I'm sure I'm missing others. You mentioned one that you were
I
really
do. I actually
surprised.
did. You say Reed Carrico? I think he is gone. Actually,
I think, did I say Reed?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, there you go. See, it's happened so long ago that we don't even, it's hard to keep up with. But um, the biggest surprise to me is that it took Enokk this long. I'd love to know what the audience thinks. Like, yes or no, do you think you're surprised that it took him this long? I'm not hating on a kid, but I didn't think it was going to necessarily work.
It's weird with him because he always seemed like he was on the cusp of being a starter somehow. That's what we always read. This is why you can't trust any media in spring because they're always, oh, he's coming along. Enokk is really knocking on the door, and then he gets in the game and it's a disaster. And like I'm not knocking.
What door?
I don't know which door it is. Maybe the door
He's
out.
almost allowed into practice now. Like,
Come on, guys.
the door
This
to the
isn't funny
tough room.
anymore.
Yeah.
No, he's knocking on the
Yeah.
exit door is what he's knocking on, I guess. But Jay Stevens even said Bowling Green for him. I'm like, dude, wow, you really didn't like that kid. Jeez.
I mean,
I could see a
it
Big
was a
Ten
bold,
team.
probably,
Like Purdue.
But if the way he played against Missouri is like the way he's going to play, then Bowling Green.
Well, that's our whole offensive line that game. The whole offensive line
Yeah.
could, they all should be going to Akron, according to Urban. So,
Yeah, that's true.
But
I'm fine with it, Jay. I'm fine with it. Corey, I'm not a racist like Corey.
It's true.
I support your educated stance that he could go to Bowling Green.
Wow, that's what impacted my disagreement with Jay. There was his full on racism. That's what it was. But anyway, no, but I'm kind of surprised who's not in the portal, Johnny. I got to say, one of the QBs. We got 5 on the roster right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, or maybe more with the walk-ons, but don't get me wrong. Ryan Day likes having all the quarterbacks, and it's possible that somebody jumps in last second, but I thought Lincoln Keenholz would be gone. I really did.
Yeah.
I don't think Devin's leaving. I think he's still competing for that starting spot going into fall. I think it's obviously between him and Will Howard. I don't care how good Sayan is in practice. He's not ready to start. Of course, according to you on the shorts, he is. But still, I think it's going to be Devin or Howard. I think everybody knows that. Probably Will Howard, but we'll see.
One quick interjection. I love me obviously trolling the fan base that's like, they better start saying if he's the man like everybody says he is. And I'm like, no one is saying that. And anyone who does is saying it in context of he's the man of a new freshman. Like, and then I love that he gets in the spring game and everybody's like, well, we need some time. We need some time. Like, I just like, what made you think he wouldn't need time?
I know.
What
exactly.
made you think he wouldn't need time? Trevor Lawrence needed half the season. Like,
and that's only because the starting quarterback was terrible. So.
Yeah. But go ahead. Sorry.
No. I hear you. I thought Aaron Nolan maybe, but I could see him sticking around a year and see where it goes. But I definitely thought Lincoln was like, dude, Julian and Erlen are both better future quarterbacks than Lincoln. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be honest here. He's not beating out Devin or Will this year. But, maybe he's thinking, well, man, if Devin leaves or, maybe I can be the backup. And I was like, I bet you anything, they'll make Sam the backup. It's like, I'll just go ahead and make Sam the backup. So that one's a little surprising. But you know what? I'm not knocking the kid. I'm sure he's a good guy. I'm sure he's a hard worker. This is not personal. We're trying to make that very abundantly clear. None of this is personal. I don't dislike him. If he stays, awesome. Keep competing. I'm far be it for me to tell somebody not compete,
Right. Yeah, it's just, I mean, I guess maybe he thinks that, hey, and maybe this is a good attitude to have. This Ohio State, this is probably what he's thinking. Hey, this Ohio State, I was never really going to be the starter this year. So let's write that off. Like, it's not, I can redshirt another year, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I learned from Ryan Day, etc. But let's be honest, like, how much time is a third string guy getting with him? But both quarterbacks, may be gone ahead of me next year. All right, Will and Devin, highly likelihood neither one of them's there next year. So I could see where he's like, I could mess around and nip at one of their heels, and push the backup, and thinking optimistically. And next year, maybe he's got the attitude. Julian Sayan's not coming in here in a year and taking my job. Guys from the South, he gets cold. He's not. This is not Air Nolan. Air is named after nothing. He's just named after nothing. So he's not taking my job. Good attitude to have, I guess, right?
Well, that would be some straight up delusion, but yes, it'd be good attitude. Air's named after the thing that we all need to live.
No, that's oxygen, Corey. He's not named oxygen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I mean, that'd be some interesting logic from the young quarterback there. But think about this. What if he's hearing rumors that all the Buckeye Nation's hearing about who the new QB coach could be? And I mean de facto QB coach. I know Chip Kelly's listed as the QB coach, but there's some rumors out there that one Josh McDaniels. And last I checked, Josh McDaniels helped coach Mr. Thomas Brady. Terrible head coach, terrible
Yeah.
head coach, but was a successful OC QB coach with under Bill Belichick with the Patriots coaching Thomas Brady. It might come in as an analyst. It's a rumor. We don't know. Apparently, he's attended a couple practices. Come in as an analyst. And analysts are allowed to coach on the sideline this year, and that would probably make him the de facto QB coach. Because I mean, I don't know that Chip Kelly has a real huge background in coaching QBs. I know he said, "Oh, I did it in the bowl game." Well, okay, it's like great. The one thing I liked about the Bill O'Brien hire was he's a QB guy. But you like your OC to be a QB guy. That's what made Ryan Day so successful as a play caller. He's a QB guy. But that being said, what would you maybe Lincoln's like, man, I can get coached by the guy who coached Thomas Brady. Look out, I'm the next Tom Brady, So I mean, he's already got the weird logic of air and and everything else. But so he's down, and Julian down south, it's cold, whatever. So he's probably thinking, man, Josh McDaniel comes in, I'm the next Tom Brady.
Yeah, well, he's like Coldridge Stroud, like James Yoder says, right? Coldridge can't play in the cold, so he's from Southern California or down south. Can't play in the cold. Maybe that's the logic. And also I'll say this, Corey. Well, it's like, well, if I'm not the starter next year, I can just transfer in the spring. But this, I was never going to start anyway. If I transfer somewhere else, why? Like, let's get coached by Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, Josh McDaniels, lift weights at Ohio State, get education from Ohio State, then leave. And I think that's pretty smart. But maybe he's Mr. Alpha, like I described. But Josh McDaniels, Corey. Again, I'd be interested to know what the audience thinks. I would imagine it's far-fetched. Like, I would have to think.
To be fair, Birmingham did say ignore it. We'll see if it's. But Birmingham.
Well, then he's probably already signing a contract.
I'm not knocking Birm, but he's been kind of negative on things lately. So
Birm would obviously know a lot more than I would. But
both of us put together,
yeah. Just kidding. I'm the most.
No, we love Birm. We actually do respect Birm here.
So. Yeah, we do. I immense respect. He's all the hookups. However, I am the most notified and in the loop. Buckeye insider there.
Well, Ryan Day does follow you on X.
So. Ryan Day does follow me, and I have a plethora of other. Like, hey, name one thing I've ever said that didn't come true. You can't. Now listen, Corey. Josh McDaniel.
I can say some personal things. No,
yeah. It's a different podcast. Josh McDaniel. That's a lot of ego. Ryan Day. Not only does he have his whole old head coach when he was just QB coach, not even OC, working for him now, getting his coffee. Now Josh McDaniel's supposed to be getting coffee for everybody, like he's just an analyst. He's supposed to be getting Josh McDaniels going to get justified. Josh McDaniels has so many Super Bowl rings, he struggles to turn door handles. He's going to get justified coffee. He is going to drive to work.
He's getting Keenan Bailey coffee.
Yeah. Now, he's going to drive to work in a 2012 Toyota Corolla while the third-string quarterback is going to be driving Mercedes-Benz from NIL.
Yeah, McDaniels is hurting for money for sure.
That's a tough – man, I'll just say it, Corey, I don't know what you gain from between Corey Dennis and Josh McDaniels. I'm just kidding. That was mean. I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that.
Josh might sue us now. So I'm just saying.
No, if you take the ego thing out of it, I don't know that all that ego would work. Corey, you know about an embarrassment of riches of football knowledge?
It's the Nick Saban model, though. I mean, it's Ryan Day saying, you know what, Nick Saban won with this. Why don't I do it?
And I don't even know, did he ever have it this rich? Like this rich?
Chip Kelly says, I want to be a head coach at Akron. Okay, fine. And then Josh McDaniels says, all right, I'm the new OC QB coach.
I love that. I could get on some of that. Like I'm sipping that.
He was rumored to be the OC for the OC job anyway. He was rumored to be with Chip Kelly and Bill O'Brien. So
I'd have been cool with it. Like,
you were a big Patriots fan when Tom Brady was the quarterback, and so you know a little bit about Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I mean, during those years, they always, it was the Patriots were infamous for shifting game plans each and every game to attack their opponents.
And
Part of
since
the reason
Michigan
they could,
steals signs, we kind of need that.
right, right, and you can do that when you have a super smart quarterback and a smart team.
Oh, well,
Always
then we're
change
screwed.
your
Never
game
mind.
plan.
You just see we lost it. But
But
CJ's
the
not
thing is,
QB anymore, dude.
you need a smart OC to pull that off.
Yeah.
Again, would the ego thing work? I don't know, but I would sure, if it's a thing, I'm all for that thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'd be all for it if he wanted to come on. I mean, look, obviously they discussed that if he's going to come on to the staff. Like, look, we got a lot of chefs in the kitchen here who have had success at the highest of levels. Can we make it? Can we all get along and realize that Ryan Day is the head honcho? What he says goes, and he's the one making $10 million a year, and he's the only one that hasn't been fired from a head coaching job. So it's like imagine being at that table and Chip Kelly and Josh McDaniels banging their fist. This is what we need to do, and Ryan Day's like, who here has not been fired as head coach? So just saying.
The temptation would be November 25th. Don't go your way, buddy. You can join the club.
Exactly. It's like, Ryan, we kind of helped control your destiny on that. You might want to shut up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your QB's throwing 6 interceptions that game. But yeah, I'd actually, what? I wonder how it would work, but I don't know if it's going to happen anyway. But I do say it'd be a little bit of an upgrade over Josh or over Corey Dennis, just a little bit. So
Yep.
Now here's a thought, Johnny. With Josh McDaniel being the fact he's been around the NFL, he's coached two franchises, not successfully, but coached them anyway, and he's been Super Bowl winner with the greatest football head coach of all time, Bill Belichick. Is it possible that he would add to the toughness, or no, I'm sorry, the developmental of Ohio State? Would he help with development? Menace recently kind of slightly, not as bad as their headlines suggested, but they slightly criticized Ohio State's ability to develop. And some people are pointing to draft picks for that. I maintain that NIL has completely changed who leaves and who doesn't. It's like, it doesn't mean you're a bust because you're not a first round draft pick. Obviously Jack Sawyer, JT, Emeka, Trevian, all would have been first 3-round draft picks. All of them would have been, especially once you get them in the pro days and the, you see how athletic they are. But that being said, they're bust because they're not top 10 picks. That they're not being developed right because they're not top 10 picks. I think that's a little bit. I don't really subscribe to that theory.
Yeah, no. For the sake of time, I won't get too into it. But I don't mind the headline. Like, we all do it. We want people say clickbait. Like, yeah, I want you to click on this. Then why else create a show? But no, I don't think there's any problem with Ohio State's development. Young players, no young people that we need to play young players. Well, what does that look like? Just shove a guy in the middle of crunch time. You want them to win by 20, yet also you want them to put in players that will make sure you don't win by 20 so that they could be ready later. So, guys.
And parity in college football doesn't lend itself to just dominating wins every week now,
No, and too.
Even when CJ was QB, that wasn't a normal thing. Like, we were just blowing people out every week.
Especially with the D. No, you can't just. I mean, all of us. You're up by 14. You put a linebacker in, misses one assignment. You're up 7 now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're up 7 in the second quarter to a nobody because that turns into a punt, and then you score. You're up 21 in the first. So 21-7. It can swing like by one guy missing an assignment. I don't know where people get this idea of just let's play makeshift with the roster and plug a guy in who's not ready. Georgia does it. Show me where Georgia is plugging guys in. Well, first of all, they didn't make playoff last year, but they're championship. Show me where they're plugging guys in that weren't ready. They just weren't ready and costing them I don't know. Unless you Buckeye fans just happen to be Georgia and Alabama savants.
It's funny that
watch all their snaps.
Saban did it one time that was noticeable in a national title game with Tua whatever his last name is.
Because it was dead for rights without it. It was he played with house money.
Yeah.
It was lose with Tua or lose with Jaden or Jalen, maybe win with Tua.
Yeah, but he's done it once that was visible to Buckeye fans. No Buckeye fan is just watching every Alabama game ever and analyzing how they use their roster. and they say, "Well, Saban plays them early." How do you know that? I mean, you don't know that.
If they're ready, if they're Dallas Turner, yeah.
If they're Caleb Downs, yes, obviously. But, I
Yeah.
mean, but guess what? We went out and got Caleb Downs. Said, yeah, and I don't
Guess
think
what? We
Caleb's going to be
started
sitting this.
Sonny Styles every game last year.
I know exactly. I mean, it's like he played a lot as a freshman too. It's like if they're ready to play, they'll play. Young players will play. I mean, you think Jeremiah Smith's not going to see the
football game one in J.K. Donovan's stomach like 20 times back in 2017? The good ones will play, guys.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, anybody who comes in and they're ready to play, they're going to play. That's just the fact. Also, one last thing before we go. I know time's running a little long. Forgot to mention, there's a rumor of Sonny Styles entering the transfer portal. I don't believe it'll happen, but the rumor is CJ Hicks may have beaten him out for that linebacker spot because Cody Simon's locked in as a starter. Now, who's the other guy? Sonny figured to be the other guy when he dropped from safety. So now, but now they're saying CJ really came on and maybe have beaten him out, and then Sonny may enter the transfer portal, even with his brother still at Ohio State, and he's a legacy. Do you think there's any truth to that?
5%.
Yeah, I'm going 5-10%. Yeah.
Yeah. Sonny Styles has been CJ Hicks been beating people out for the last 2 years. So air quotes.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, if he never plays, it's because the coach is racist or something. I don't know. There's always an excuse as to why CJ Hicks doesn't play. Yeah, it's always the coach's fault too.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. Well, let me ask you something. If he did, on that small percent chance he did, how big a loss is it for Ohio State?
That's a big loss, man. That's a player. That's when I say, hey, no. You beg him to come back, and you say, I'm going to find a role. Because if he's not one of the 11 best, I bet you he's one of the 12. Right? Like, that dude went into a slightly out of position, played really good for being a young guy.
I always thought he's a little too big for safety, but yeah, but linebacker seems to make the most sense, and people are excited about his move. And here's the thing about it: he transitions to linebacker. He don't know how to play the position just yet. I mean, you got to give him some time to develop that. We did the same crap with Jack Sawyer. We moved him all over the place. Finally, let him play DN. Look what he does at the end of last year.
Yeah, don't let him go. Don't let him go.
I agree. That would be the loss. I mean, Dallin Hayden's is a hard loss, but it's overcomeable. If that's a word. But Sonny, I'm like, wow, you lost a legacy and a guy, an Ohio kid, and his brother's on the team. That's a bad look.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in, guys, as always. And it was, it's Johnny. I just gotta say, it's great to record with my brother again. We don't record it often enough. The show was founded on you and me recording together all the time. And I know we both got our lives and we're busy. And you got two beautiful children now. So I can't wait to meet Rocky later this year when I come up. So anyways, but still we got to try to do this more often. And as always, man, I just love talking to you.
Hey man, glad to be back. We're going to do it more and more often.
Absolutely, guys. As always, subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. Like the video if you like what you see. Comment below what you think of everything we've talked about today. The transfer rumors, Sonny Styles possibly leaving, Josh McDaniel maybe being a coach, and also what was the other thing? Oh, about the development issue. Do you think Ohio State has a developmental issue, as Menace kind of hinted at? Let us know in the comments below. We appreciate you all. As always, guys. Goodbye. God bless. And of course, Johnny.
Go Bucks.